Hello and welcome to BFS Wargaming. So we're here to make a little announcement. So BFS Wargaming and 40k Gaming are teaming up to bring you an events company called Warhammer Events. So in 2020 we're going to be bringing you 3 events. So these are all going to be in Colchester at 40k Gaming. So we're going to be doing, first off, we're going to be doing a league, which is what mainly this video is about to talk about. And then we are going to be bringing you 2 ITC tournaments, one at the beginning of April and one at the beginning of October. They will be GTs, but there will be more. I'll do another video to announce that, go through the details of those at another time. So today we're here to talk about the league, which actually starts this year, the very end of this year, on the 30th of December. So if you are local to Colchester in the UK, and you could get 5 games in over 7 weeks, then this could be for you. So what we're going to be doing is we've got a competitive league and a narrative league. So 2 different leagues. So the competitive league is based around a planet called Belisar. Okay, it's in the Jericho Reach, and hopefully it will be over here somewhere, or I'm covering it. Depends which way the picture's around. But I think it's over here somewhere. It's like the furthest point away from the warp gate in the Jericho Reach. And then the narrative league will be on the planet orbiting Belisar, which is called Castoff. Okay? So basically what you're going to do is you're going to play a league. This is a competitive one. So you're going to do, like I said, 5 games in 7 weeks. So you could do 3 of those games in 1 week if you want, or you can stretch it out and do 3 in the last week. However you want to do it, it's just so you can get those games in. So what we need is a warlord name. So with this, we're going to have all these different factions fighting over Belisar as a strategic point to then invade the Jericho Reach and basically get a stronghold in the Jericho Reach. So you're going to need a warlord name, because we will be using the warlord names when we do the update videos. So once a week, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, we'll be doing an update video, depending on how much more information I've got at that point. Because obviously if people only start playing their games towards the end, there'll be more updates videos towards the end, because I don't want to make an update video if there's only been like 2 games and it hasn't really changed that much. So how it's going to be is we're going to have, for the competitive league, there's going to be a pie chart. So you'll see who has the most percentage control of the planet. And then what it will be, at the end of the 5 games, you'll have the 2 people, or the 2 warlords with the most control, are going to fight it out over the capital and control of Belisar. So the cast off the moon, the narrative one, there is going to be a part in this video where Andy comes on and talks all about the narrative moon and how that's going to work and how that's going to operate. Okay, so going back to the competitive Belisar, the planet. So you need the warlord name. How the games are going to work is you rock up. We're using chapter approved 2019 missions. So you're going to roll off, and on a 1, 2, or 3, you're going to do Eternal War. On a 4, 5, or 6, you're going to do Maelstrom. And then you will then roll off on that table, so 1 to 6 on what mission you get. As far as terrain works, you just rock up if you're both happy with a table, or you get someone else to choose, or make a table with terrain for you to make it even and unbiased towards any army. And then you're going to play the mission out, and then you'll have a score sheet at 40k, which you will then hand in. I will then collect them once a week and go through them, and like I say, do the update videos. So how the armies work. So the armies have got to be from, so whatever you start with, so say if you start with Chaos Space Marines and Chaos Demons, you then have to, although you can change your armies for each game, you have to have a contingent of Chaos Space Marines and a contingent of Chaos Demons for the rest of the missions. Okay, so for the rest of the league, you have to use both of them. If you only start with Chaos Space Marines, you cannot then add in demons later. Okay, you have to then stick with Chaos Space Marines. So basically, if you're using one codex or two codexes, if you only use one codex, you can only pick from that one codex. If you use two codexes, you have to pick from both codexes. Or if you use three, you have to pick from all three. Okay, and that is the same for every faction apart from Space Marines. Because Space Marines have the supplements, each supplement is going to count as a codex. So if you start with Iron Hands, Raven Guard, and Imperial Fists, you have to stick with Iron Hands, Raven Guard, Imperial Fists for the remainder of the league. If you start with, for instance, just Ultramarines, then you can only pick from Ultramarines. Okay, but for any other codex, so for instance Necrons, you can chop and change your dynasties as much as you want, because there's much less of an advantage doing that as there would be from as you would be from Space Marines, because Space Marines, come on, them supplements are pretty much codexes in themselves. So I think that's the fairest way to do it. And what else have we got down here? So armies from Santos. Okay, so the armies must be shown, your list must be transferred at the same time. So when you rock up to play a game, you pass either your phone that has your list on it or a bit of paper with your list. You swap it over. So there's no, you can't see what's in someone else's list and then swap something else in. Your list has to be done, change, you pass it over, that's your list. No last minute swap outs, you can't do that. Obviously you can spend pre-game CP depending on who you're playing. So for instance, for Space Marines, if you wanted to give your librarian extra power, to give him like Null Zone, so out of the new Faith and Fury book, you can give him a power from a different discipline. That's fine, you can still do that because that's just pre-game CP. That's done after the list building stage. And then I think I've gone through most of the things. So the link will be for the tickets. So there's a narrative ticket link and then there's a competitive ticket link. So there's one for the moon, one for the planet. The links will be in the description below, so you can go find, click on them, get yourself signed up. And then what I'm going to do is I'll do a pre-league update to tell you who's there, what warlords are there, who's fighting over this planet, and hopefully for the channel, all of you guys will find it quite interesting following the league, see which faction's going to take the planet, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass over to Andy now to talk about the narrative moon.
Hey everyone, so you've probably seen the earlier part of the video where Pat was talking. He was talking about the competitive element of the Iron Hammer League that we're doing this year. That competitive element is on the planet. I'm talking about the campaign element, which is based on the moon that surrounds, that's orbiting the planet. So the moon's called Kstoff, and I'm just here to give you a little bit of an insight to that, and to make sure I get more people on the campaign than Pat gets in the league. All right, Pat. So basically, if you're a competitive player, you want to play on the planet. So you want to be in Pat's league. It's very individually based, and obviously you'll get rewarded as the individual for being top of the league, second and third, and everything else. Kstoff, the moon, the campaign part of it, which I'm looking after, much different. So it's all about fighting with the race that you are in. So if you're Imperium, you'd be part of the Imperium. If you're Chaos, you'd be part of Chaos. Xenos, you'd be part of that. So the idea is, once you've joined your factions, you then fight, and you'll be fighting for territory. And that is what the campaign's about, essentially. We will spend 6 weeks fighting and splitting up the territory based on who owns it per faction. At the end of the campaign, there's an element to where we then search and look and locate the artifacts, and that it will be based down to the territory that you own. So the more territory you own, the bigger the advantage is that of winning and finding the artifact. It doesn't guarantee it, but it really increases your chances the more you territory you have. Anyway, within the campaign, you will find that the expectations are the boards won't always be the same. You've got weather effects that are going to be involved or part of the game, and this is because obviously the moon's crust is being ripped apart, so any of the weather effects will be relevant to what is happening on the moon at the time. So every single week there'll be updates to inform you and let you know what's happening on the moon, and you will find there will also be restrictions on army lists. So there may be weeks where the fighting is on ground that is very, very unstable. So you can't use any heavies, or your heavies are restricted. So there will be updates throughout the week that you will have to look out for, which will affect how you build your army list. That really is essentially what we will have. It's supposed to be collaborative or cooperative. So we're fighting together in our factions. How then factions divide up and how we split the factions up, we don't know yet. It's all going to be bound to who registers and the factions that register. We have a way of balancing it up, so I'm not worried about that. It's just whether or not we break the Zeniths down into smaller elements, because we're expecting obviously there to be quite a few Imperium, because obviously they're very strong at the minute, and all the Space Marines have had new releases and they are very super good, which is great because we ultimately want the Imperium to win, don't we? Yeah, that's what it's all about. Not that I'm biased, I've got to be neutral and fair, but Imperium will have to win. Anyway, it doesn't matter because the moon's going to blow up and anybody on there is going to die anyway. It's just whether or not you rescue the artifact. It's going to be important because the club is going into the Jericho Reach. Everything that we're going to do is we're going to be within the Jericho Reach. So this whole campaign is vital to how things will start in the Jericho Reach. The planet is a vitally important, and again we'll just write a little bit of fluff around that just so you've got a bit of awareness in it. And obviously the artifact that gets rescued from the moon will have some story to it, and it will affect what will happen in the Jericho Reach at a later time. So if you want something campaign based and you want something where you're cooperating together, got to be friendly, then this is probably what you want to join. If you want a competitive element to it, and you definitely want to have your name in lights, and you want to compete on that level where, we run 5-6 knights, or we run, 8 flyers, or we run lots and lots of, what are they? I don't know, whatever spam thing you want to do, then yeah, do the competitive part. Join the friendly league if you like my smiley face. Or you just want to collaborate and game with like-minded people that are friendly. I'm not saying Pat's not friendly, or yeah, I am. No. Anyway, so yes, hope that gives you a little bit of insight. You'll get a bit more fluff and background to it as we go forward. But yeah, choose me. Laters.
Okay, thanks guys. So again, the league is going to have a rules pack and a league pack, so that will be also posted up on the Iron Hammer events page. So if you go on Facebook, type in Iron Hammer events, you should find us, or Iron Hammer, and then give us a like, and then all of the links from this video will be put, the links from the channel with the update videos will be put on Iron Hammer events, and all of the stuff like we'll create events for the ITC tournaments and things like that, and there'll be updates on there throughout the year of different things, so you can just keep track on what's going on with Iron Hammer. Yeah, and I think that's all we need to say about that. So there will be further updates and further videos, so we'll see you in the next one. Exciting times. Thanks. Bye.